Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. I have just logged in, this is where I last was and I can't remember if I've actually shown you this, but I'm sure some of you can make a good guess at what this is right here. A couple of episodes back I showed you the speed mining technique that Etho came up with, and we've done a big area of that, and now I've started on my second area, which is over here in the middle of a ravine. And if we just stand back over here, look at that. Disappear, appear, disappear, appear. So you can see all the way back to where I've been digging, and that's because we have the direct access to the sky, and then that means it eliminates the void fog. So the further away from that we move, the bigger the void fog gets. Just in case you didn't know about that, I'm sure a lot of you do. But what are we going to be doing this episode? Why am I down here? Well, I thought I would just log in and explain what it is I wanted to do this episode. I have two jobs. We had a Hermitcraft meeting recently, and there were two things we decided we were going to do, and so I've got to get on with doing that. The first one is something a lot of you are going to be excited for. We are going to be building a nether hub. We have an idea and a theme, and I'm actually not going to be telling you about that because I'm not the builder in this project, and so someone else is going to be building it, and I think it would be best for them to explain what exactly the nether hub is going to be, and you can see them build it, whereas I'm just going to go in, do the grunt work and clear out a load of space for everyone to build in. So that's what I'm going to be doing first of all, and I'm just checking my back here looking for mobs. It is night time. Let's go over to the, I was about to say desert temple, and I was about to correct myself and say jungle temple, which is crazy because this is a desert temple. It's so confusing trying to remember what to say. So the second thing that I'm going to be doing is building an ABBA caving tournament. Now, we talked about this, everyone was keen on the idea at the meeting, and so we're going to do this. I'm going to build a little building that says, you know, ABBA caving on it or something like that, but we're going to have a tournament style ABBA caving game. So it means everyone who wants to play gets to put their name, I don't know, into a chest or something like that. I don't know if you heard that, but my phone went off, sorry about that. Where was I? We're going to have a chest or something like that where everyone who wants to play can put their name into it, and then we're going to have like a knockout tournament. So the winner of each round gets to go into the next round, and all of the winnings from each round go into a chest, and then the winner of the tournament gets everything that goes into the chest. So if you think about it, let's say we had 8 people playing, that's 4 games, then 2 games, then 1 game, which is a total of 7 games. So one person will win 7 games worth of diamond ore and all the goodies that you get from ABBA caving. So it's going to be a really cool competition, especially for whoever wins, and I'm sure it'll be a lot of fun to be a part of as well. So that's what I'm going to be doing. We're going to go into the nether, we're going to clear it out, and we're also going to be building that ABBA caving building. So I've just been thinking about what clearing out the nether actually means, and what I originally pictured myself doing I still think is the best thing to do, but I'm not going to actually be building the nether hub. Now I want to help out and get this thing going as quick as possible, so what I'm going to be doing is clearing out all of the netherrack around the portal at this kind of height here, and then that means when you're standing at the portal you're thinking about where's the best place to build this nether hub. You can see all of the other portals and where they are in proximity to this one, which is going to be very helpful. However, I'm not going to be clearing out the area that it's actually going to be built in, because this thing is going to be very big and I think it's going to take up a lot of vertical space. So rather than me coming in here and, you know, removing a big chunk of netherrack over here and then finding out that's the wrong place to build it, I'm just going to clear out everything between this portal and the other portals in this area. So progress has been made. Let's have a look. I think I went through 4 picks doing all of that, so you can see I've dug away a ton of netherrack, filled up these chests. And let's have a look around. So you can see it's quite a different place now. All these walls have been removed. We've got Mumbo's portals over there. That is the track that leads to the new area. Then somewhere down that way it will go to Red Eyes' Blaze Farm. This leads down to the surface. This is kind of a temporary entrance. I don't think anyone actually uses that anymore. And then over here we have, oh I don't know, Biffers and all those portals going that way. You've got D-Max, Corralises, Top Masses, and then mine and Tinfoil Chefs are over in this direction. You can see the portal to... Actually, I'm not sure what this one is right here. You see we've got the Wastelands, or the old Wastelands, the one where we fought the Wither with Corralis the other day. I didn't actually put that in my video, that was in his, if you saw that. And then that one is the Ice Tray, that's the End Portal, and then down there is me and TFC. So I don't know what exactly this portal is. I think it might be someone else's base in the village. We should go and have a little look through here. But that is most of the work done. I don't think I missed out any portals. Let's see. Oh, there's a pig man here. Ah, okay, so this is the top of the floating islands. That's good to know. Oh, that looks strange. It's raining. It's raining here. It's snowing there. Bizarre. That's the update for you. And that is the back of Monkey Farm's skull. I've not actually seen it from this side. It's not finished, is it? Although it looks like possibly a chunk isn't loading there. But anyway, let's go back into the nether and just have a quick look again. Because I don't think I missed anyone's portal, but there's an area quite close to the main portal, which is the one that the hub is going to be centered around. All of this over here, you can see we've got my nether wart farm, but I don't think there's anything else beyond this. And this goes to the wither farm, by the way. I didn't comment on this. I was going to do this in between episodes. I was actually going to build an ender pearl elevator from top to bottom, but I didn't really have the time. And luckily this was above a lava lake, so once I dug through the netherrack at the top here, I just went all the way down into the lava. I had a fire resist potion and just built this coming all the way up here. And I'm still not sure what I want to do about that, because it's a lot of work and I don't go to the wither farm that often. And when I do, it doesn't take long to get down here. You can just throw an ender pearl like this and it drops down in front of the ladder, and if you do it right you can get all the way to the bottom in one go, and you know you can do the same thing coming back up as well. So I don't think I missed anyone's portal out here, and you can see we've got plenty of space to build this hub. So my job here is done. We need to head over to the new 1.7 area. So we had two things to do this episode. We have gotten the first one out of the way. There is no more nether business for us, and the second thing we got to do is build a building for the ABBA caving building. Build a building for the building. Who knows what I'm saying there. We're going to go over and have a look in that area in a moment. I just wanted to have a look at Xisum's plot. I was really pleased. I was watching his episode the other day. He came over to this area. He's like, right, I'm going to go here and build. And the first thing that he sees is the plots, and so he picks one and starts building, which is awesome. Really should have done the plot thing earlier, but there you go. But anyway, he's building on here. It means there's two more spaces for other people. And there's also still a path over here. I was hoping he wouldn't look at this and think, why is there a gap here? Because we're going to build a nice little path for Red Eyes. We don't want him to feel left out. And it looks like he has started building as well, although I don't think I should be looking at too much of this stuff. I don't want to spoil other people's episodes. Yeah, so anyway, let's head over to the area on that side. We're doing another community building today, and I don't think anyone else has started their community projects yet, which is a shame, but I've got to be careful not to do too many because I have tons of ideas. And so there's the furnace one that we haven't finished, there's the ABBA caving building, and I have one more idea that I'm going to implement, and then I'm going to stop doing community stuff. I'm going to leave it for other people. So you're going to see 3 projects from me overall. And I think the sun is rising. Yes, it definitely is. It was night time a moment ago, which is great because whenever I come around to this area there's always mobs and they're always pesky and annoying. So we're going to have a path that comes through here, nice and natural looking with gravel and a few mix of blocks, so it looks kind of natural, like I just said. Yeah, so we don't need to look down there. So that's going to come around here somewhere, and so it's going to branch off into this area, and somewhere around here is where we're going to build the ABBA caving building. Now I've already built this. What was interesting is I wasn't in the mood to build. It's really difficult for me. I've explained it a few times. You just have to be in the right mood sometimes. So I was trying to build, not very happy with what I was coming up with. I've made some pixel art of ABBA caving, like a big sign going upwards, so it said ABBA. And then I was trying to put a building around it, and it didn't really look that great. So I went over to Keevan's plot for some inspiration to look at some of his modern builds. And then I saw a house that I actually built a while ago. I built one on his plot over there, and I thought, do you know what, this will do. This is a modern house. This looks good. So I modified it to add. That's interesting right there. It's a little mound and a little mini cave. Yeah. So I modified it to add the ABBA thing on the front, and it looked really good, and I'm really pleased with it. And so I have tons of clay on me and quartz and everything that we need to build this. And I'm looking for the right spot because I'm actually really excited to build this. Is this a big straight wall? Oh, yeah it is. That looks kind of weird. So there's lots of nice areas around here, and you know what, we picked extreme hills. It's the new type, it's the plateau type, and I do feel a little disappointed that there weren't some nicer biomes nearby, but Kralis has made a track that goes all the way out to a mesa biome, and I'm thinking of going over there and trying out building a western style building or something like that at some point. And so we're going to have another little building project over there. And I kind of like it, you know, lots of building projects, lots of places to go and do stuff on the server. But looking around here, nothing's really jumped out at me yet, like a location that says, hey, build here. Although I'm thinking the backside around here might be a good place. The path's going to probably come round into this middle area, and then it gives you plenty of spaces on either side. I mean, I can't really tell people where to build, but if I put down a path, it gives people a good indicator, I guess. And I don't think I want to go over on this stony area. That's the kind of thing you'll move out to later once you've got the main stuff in. So we'll bring a path into this area. It's definitely going to be in here that we're building. And I'm just really not sure. I'll tell you what, I'll keep looking and see what I can find. So I think I've found the spot. The only problem with it is it's going to be at the end of the road. Now there's a bit more space over there, so the path will come through this area. There'll be plenty of spaces to build around it, and it will go over here, and then there is a prime location at the end of the road that I really like. It's perfect for what I want to build, and it's going to be kind of lonely and isolated at the moment because there's not a lot going on in this area yet, but I do feel it's the best place to build it. And it's only going to be a temporary thing as well. You know, this ABBA building is going to serve a purpose, and I think when the ABBA tournament is over, maybe I can tear it down and build something else here. But just have a look. You've got the hill, that's Biffa's base right there, and inside that little bit, and it's kind of the dividing point because we've got the river that comes around the side here. So this is the back of the residential area, and then over on this side is the shopping area, which is also marked off by this river that goes all the way around here. And then we're left with this nice little area that's big enough to build this on. And so like what I did over there, we're kind of going onto the edge of this drop, and so there'll be like a plot size, I think it's 14 by 14 blocks, and then some stone bricks around the outside that will drop down onto this. So we might do something a little bit similar with the water and the bushes and that, but I'm not really going to focus on that too much this episode. But I feel like this is the spot, you know. Nice little isolated area with the river going around half of it at the back, and I think I've babbled enough about that for now. Oh, there's also some caves down there. Looks like someone's already gone into those. So yeah, I'm just going to start building. I know exactly what I need to do. I'm going to lay down the foundations and show you it when I've made some progress. So this is starting to take shape. I felt like now was the time to do my first little recording segment. Now this building may look a little bit strange, and please keep in mind that what I'm looking at is the finished product because I know how it's going to look. So it's looking pretty good in my opinion, but for you it might not. But there is a fair bit more to go on this building. So I've gotten to the point where I need to do a run for some more resources and get some things that I forgot to bring with me. And so I thought I'd do a little update before I go. Now on the insides, none of the interiors are done. The floor needs to be made out of cyan clay, and I think it actually needs to go down one more level, so the cyan is at this level here. But the outside is really starting to take shape. And what I was going for when I was building this, now I've been thinking about that because I built this quite some time ago, but I remember what I wanted to do is kind of merge three different shapes together, and so I've done that with three different colours. We have the cyan, the what looks like brown, which is actually grey stained clay, and then the yellow stained clay as well. So the yellow is going to go and cut across the middle, which is what it does here, and then we have cyan at the back and brown at the front, or grey. I should really just call this grey because that was clever. So much easier to refer to like that. So around on this side it's fairly simple and straightforward. There's going to be some more yellow clay up the top there. There's kind of a second floor, and then round on this side you can see where the yellow cuts across the middle, and then we have brown at the front. Now this bit here looks pretty ugly, and that's because it's been changed where I modified this to have ABBA. And do you know what I was thinking? You're going to be able to see this from over that way. Maybe not everyone in that town will be able to see it, but if you go over into that area, you're going to look across here and see this building. And so I thought, you're not going to be able to read the text there, but I think it's possible that we could extend this, and you can see this thing. Oh, I've actually made a mistake here. This thing's 3 blocks wide, and this bit is 2. So I might not do that. Or I could move everything here forward by 1, and then we could put ABBA on the side as well. I'll have to make my mind up about that. Yeah, so then you'll be able to read that from town. You'll see what this building is. You'll come over here. So this is what the interiors kind of look like at the moment. It's going to look a lot nicer when we finish the roof. And then there's going to be a room right here, and then it's going to lead onto a balcony area, which is this bit here. And I think it looks really nice having the yellow wall at the back of the balcony as well. But I haven't looked at this from anywhere but close proximity at the moment. So let's go over here and make sure that things look decent. You can see I need to replace some of that with stone brick, and I'd say it is quite intrusive. It does come out quite a lot, and I think that requires some terraforming to bring up some of the dirt on this side and stone at the front as well, because that just feels yeah, it's pushed out too much, if you see what I mean. So let's go and look at it from that angle. And another thing, the whole time I've been building this, I've hardly been attacked by mobs. I've been working in an unlit area. I think I've been visited by about 3 zombies, and it just doesn't seem like the server's, spawning many mobs anywhere. I can't see any at the moment. So on this side, same problem. Again, not so much over here. I think we just need to do a little bit of terraforming, and that's going to look a lot nicer when it's got some foliage and some bushes around it and stuff like that. So I think they were the 2 places that I wanted to have a look at it from. Speaking of zombies, here's another one. Let's kill that guy. Take that. Let's just have a look from back here as well. It looks quite nice where it is right there, I think. So the building is now finished, and you know what, I feel like there's actually a lot more to be done before it really looks like I've done that much more. But the inside is kind of done. You can see I put in the floor and all of the walls are finished, so we need to kind of decorate this and put information about the tournament in here, which is the kind of stuff I haven't even gotten to even thinking about yet, how I'm going to lay that all out. There's so many things that go into this, and I think that looks good like that. That's good. Missed the block there. So up the top here there was one thing that I thought looked really nice that there's no point having here, but before I had some quartz blocks here, some snow blocks there, and some red carpet on top, and it looked like a bed with a pillow, and this was like a little upstairs sleeping room. But there's not really much point putting that here because I'm not going to use, well, it wasn't a practical bed to begin with, but it doesn't need a bedroom, this building, I don't think. So it's looking pretty good. There's some details and furnishes we need on the inside. I'm going to get all of that stuff done in a moment, and what I think I'll do is finish the inside, all of the information, things like that, and then do the foliage last of all, because I always think that makes a huge difference, and it's kind of nice to do that bit last just so you can see how much of a difference it makes. So I talked about raising this up a little bit. I kind of just did near to the walls because I didn't have a lot of materials, and coming back here it looks like I need to start raising it around this level so it covers up more of the corner, but it does look a little bit better, I've got to say. And maybe over here it needs a bit more materials as well, but we'll get round to doing that and it will look good, I think, in the end. And you can see the ABBA from over that side as well. When I first put in the bees, I actually put them in the wrong way around, which looked really silly. But I need to take a trip back to get some materials and also food. I'm down to eating rotted flesh, which is not that great. And yeah, so from over here you can see it says ABBA as well, which I think is really cool. And I think the building looks pretty good, but like I've said a couple of times now, it's all about the leaves and the foliage. So the next thing we're doing is doing the insides. We're going to put in all of the information, the furniture, things like that, and I'll be back when that's done. So this bit right here, I didn't think it would take too long, but as always, things just seem to take forever lately with this game. And so I've spent quite some time doing the next bit. It may not look like much, but I've been writing some books, which kind of takes a lot of thought. So in here I've just added some bushes and some plants over here. Got some records on the wall, which I actually think look really cool right there. And we've got the jukebox. Then up here we have the winnings chest. And one thing I've realised I've overlooked is lighting. So I'm going to put down some torches just to remind me to actually sort that out more than anything. Up the top here we've got some plant plots which look really nice, and I don't know what this is supposed to be, but it's something that I built previously on my server when I built this house the first time. And then down here, this room doesn't really look too well decorated, but it serves a purpose, which is important. And so we have a chest over on this side. This is where you put your name in to join the competition, and over on this side we have a chest with everyone's name on it. So something that I need to do is to go to the Enderman farm and name loads of pieces of paper. I've only got 8 at the moment though. And another thing I was thinking of doing is maybe renaming these potions and the books as well, just so when you hover over them they tell you additional information as well, because that's obviously a 1.7 feature. So I decided that what I wouldn't do is spend a ridiculous amount of time working on these, and of course when we punch them we don't lose the item frame as well. But they are fairly detailed, and I hope I've done a good job here. And I also want to block off this door because I've got a feeling a creeper's going to walk in or something. So let's have a quick look at this. The ABBA Caving Tournament is a knockout tournament where competing players put their winnings from each round into a chest upstairs. That is reserved for the tournament winner. Now, if you know what ABBA Caving is, you probably understand the entire concept there. So it's a knockout competition and winner takes all of everything, if that makes sense. And you have until the 1st of December to enter the competition. And then I go into explaining what ABBA is if you haven't played it before. And then I explain how to enter the tournament by taking your name from one chest and putting it into the other. And then this bit is quite important. Now what I'm saying here is, let's say that 17 people sign up for the competition. If we had 16, we could divide that up equally, so we would have 8 rounds first of all, and then 4 rounds after that. If we had 17 players enter the competition, then we'd have one extra, and what we would do is make a qualifying match, and 2 people would be drawn at random, and then they would go into a qualifying match, and then the winner would stay on for the first round of 16. Now in the case of us having only 15 people, what we would do is draw someone at random to have a free pass, and that means they go into the round of 8 that follows the original round. So that's what I covered in the book here, just explaining some of the complications and how I would deal with them. And I've also put in here that basically if someone's paired up with someone else, they have to arrange it between themselves, and there's no real rush to get all of the games played. So this could actually take a long time to finish, with people being on different parts of the worlds and time zones and things like that. And yeah, so it says for further information read the rulebook. So I'll go through the rules. I think this is important because we want to make sure it went over there, everything is even for each player. So in here you can see a round must last 20 minutes. Players must agree on an area for caving in. Both players must have a silk touch pick to gather ores. Now I can help players with that if they don't have one. And both players must have speed, night vision and fire resist potions to ensure a balanced match. So if you saw the match that I had with Biffa, you'll understand exactly why that is important. And when the match is finished, contact me, Xisumo, to let me know who the winner is, to deposit the ores and blah 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 blah. And then I put the ore values here at the end as well. So coal isn't worth anything, but I think this is quite balanced. Iron worth 2, redstone is worth 3, lapis and gold both worth 4, emerald 5 and diamonds 8. I think that's going to be a fairly balanced competition right there, and it puts a bit more emphasis on finding the diamonds over some of the other ones. And yeah, that's pretty much everything right there, I think. So going back to the potions, I just remembered that's important because if one player brings the potions to the game, then it gives them a huge advantage. So I think that these 3 should be the bare essentials. Now I can brew up loads of these, I don't mind doing that, and that's something I'm probably going to do in the coming episodes, is build some sort of brewing stand for this. But I think that each player should have these potions. Speed to make sure your match goes fast, you can move around quickly. If one player has that and another one doesn't, it's a huge advantage. The night vision means you don't have to use torches, and that's essential, I think. And also the fire resistance just means you can be a bit more carefree. And so I'm going to provide those if players can't get them themselves, and then that means that the matches are going to be fairly equal, and there shouldn't be too much else that players can bring to the table that gives them advantage other than having decent armor and things like that. So that is everything that's gone into this. We have 2 stages left of this to do. I can't believe how long this is taking me. I think I have to rethink the way I do my episodes now, because building entire houses and all of that kind of stuff, let's go back inside, is getting quite tiring. There we go, we're safe in here. We can't really see them from anywhere else unless we go climbing around on the roof. So there are 2 stages left, which is what I was trying to say. There we go, parkour. Oh, that's not what I want to do. Where'd the creeper go? There he is. Oh, I better move away, just in case he does some SMP stuff and decides to blow up. So yeah, 2 things left to do. We want to go and take those items and rename them, and also rename the paper as well for each player on the each member on the server. And then we need to do the foliage. We need to put loads of leaves over this, which will make it look super pretty, and that's the bit I'm most looking forward to. So once again, much time has passed by. Oh, it feels like these Hermitcraft episodes take forever to make sometimes. I've been distracted by wonderful things, and eventually I've got around to finishing this, so here we are recording. Now the leaves on top, I said they would make the difference. They have. That looks so much better in my opinion. However, it didn't look quite as good as on my creative server, so I went on there to check it out and see what the difference was, and it was the colour in the leaves. Having 2 colours of leaves to place down on top of the building, that makes so much more difference, and I can't really describe why. I guess the colour is just another form of detail and variety, which kind of gives it so much more. But where everything's just the same colour here, it doesn't really stand out as much, does it, the leaves? You just have one type, and so the contrast there is important. Do you know what? I need to go into another biome and build something just so I can play around with the leaves and show you that sometime. But anyway, all of this is done. In terms of the outside here, I'll probably do some more kind of garden areas around here in the future, but I am really running out of time. So there's one last thing that we need to do, which is to build the path from here all the way through that area and back round to the path that we built in the previous episode, and then I will be done here today. But let's go inside and let me show you the changes. Now there's a couple of minor things like lighting, and I think I added one or two more things. Maybe I didn't, I can't remember. But I renamed these items. So over here we have the speed potion for haste, then for lack of torches, and for carelessness. I think that's really cool, and I actually love this feature. That's so bold and useful. You know, you can walk into a room, look at something, and then boom, it tells you exactly what you need to know. So over here it's got information, it's got rules, and I had to change the shelf at the top here because if you look where the information is, when that was an upside down stairs, that goes right inside the block and you can't see it. But I put everyone's name into a chest. I've got my one down the bottom here. I want to be part of this competition, so I'm going to be the first person to put my name into this chest over there. And voila, we have entered the competition that we have spent all day building a house for. A house that will hardly ever be used for anything more than people walking in and moving one item from one chest to the other. Although, saying that, they're all going to be putting their loot in the chest upstairs, so it does serve a purpose. Hopefully this is nice and secure. I don't think there's too many risks. Everything is lit up. As you see, we've got torches, we've got glowstone, and things are good around here. So anyway, one last thing to do is to do that path. I don't know how long that's going to take me, probably quite some time. I imagine I'm just going to do something quite basic with gravel and then maybe work on it over time. But one thing I need to be considerate of is the amount of space. Now, that thing ended up being 19 by 19 blocks, and you know what? It's easy to look at a space and think, you know, someone could build something here, but then they're going to need some space to be away from this, you know, terrain. They don't want to be right up against it, and then you want some space in front of what you're building as well, and so you have to be considerate of a lot of things. So I'll definitely put some thought into how I do this path. So I mentioned a moment ago that I got distracted by something wonderful, and I forgot to remember to tell you what exactly that was. There is a video link in the description box. Now, I'm going to talk about this in my next episode as well. Click on it, check it out. It is an absolutely amazing fan movie of the Hermitcraft server. It is just wonderful. It's by the Puka. He made one of these before, and the one he did before was just stunning at the time, and this one's even better. I mean, I didn't think he could top himself, but that sounded odd. Yeah, you know what I mean. And yeah, I was just sitting here working away at the Enderman farm doing some enchanting, and I went to check something on the Reddit. I saw the video, went and watched it, and just got completely distracted. I must have watched it about 3 times in a row. An hour passed by and I was like, oops, I've got to get on with doing my Hermitcraft episode. And it is absolutely wonderful. I really implore all of you to check the description box, look for that link, and go and watch the video. It'll be really entertaining, and I absolutely loved it. I'm going to talk about it in my next video at the beginning to make sure lots of people hear about it as well. Yeah, so click the link, check it out, and I'll get that path done while you're watching. So this time of year things get pretty hectic and time management is important. Unfortunately, I couldn't really finish the path, but I did lay down the torches and I thought I'd show you where the path goes. Now there was a cave here. I've kind of tidied up the entrance a little bit. It was a little bit high. You can kind of see where the grass went across the front of it, and the same thing on the other side as well. So now that I've done a little bit of terraforming here, we've got a nice path that goes through this cave, and I'm going to put gravel down in here to make it obvious, you know, when it transitions into this cave. And so I've done a little bit of terraforming as well, and I've actually been enjoying this. I think what I'd like to do next episode is go around this area, do some terraforming and tidy up the place. Now over here, for example, there's this little stone patch like this. You could easily do a bit of terraforming and bring it up and get some more land space on the side here. But I was also thinking what we could do is extend the grass around like this, like a curve, and then put some stone or some wood underneath and have some support beams or something like that, so there's some potential for a little bit of structure there. And then the path just curves around like this. Points like this, I think it's a good idea maybe just to move some of this dirt back a little bit and push this back so there's more space on this side. Although you've got to think about where people are going to build, you know, having a slope and going all the way across here could mean that people will be building on that slope, whereas what we might want to do is remove the land on this side and build on that side at this height. But I'm babbling on too much, you know. I'm not going to be doing a lot of building around here. I have one more project that I want to do. So this is where the path goes, and I was thinking it would be a really good idea to leave some signs at the end of the other path, some big bold signs everyone could read that just says this is the commercial area, follow the torches, that's where the path's going to be, you can build around there. Because one thing that I'm not too great at is communicating, and when we done the village over there I did try and say to people that everyone should build on the path and it should be close to one another so we can have, you know, a road like we did on the old Hermitcraft map, but I didn't really communicate that the best that I could, so therefore everyone's kind of sprawled out a little bit. But this is where the path is going to go. If you're wondering what's up with the dirt around here, I just started connecting the dirt and I was thinking I want to remove all of this stone and just change things around here. So if you have a look around, you know, there's patches of dirt mixed in with the stone, and I think tidying these things up can make it a lot nicer, which is probably what I'm going to be doing next episode. But I think that wraps things up for this one. In a moment I'm going to go and put some signs down over here. But that'll be it for this episode. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.